No. He's a top 5 on my list, so he's a top 5 guy. Yeah.
Would that weigh on your mind and your heart?
For sure. Especially if you're there and you see it.
I'm there.
Of course.
I see it.
Absolutely.
I'm touching the bodies.
Absolutely.
I'm touching the people. I'm pulling big out the car. Would that weigh on your heart,
100%.
You understand?
100%.
If you try to go, if you try to go to somebody and say, "Yo, man, you're doing people wrong. You constantly doing this to people."
Yeah.
How would that weigh on you, brother? You understand? And they don't want to make it right with the people who are still here. When you telling somebody, mother who lost both of her sons, that your son just had delusions of grandeur, like he didn't want to be nothing, he didn't work to be nothing. How would that make you feel, brother? I'm sitting back here knowing all this stuff, listening to all this stuff, and he's going around parading like he give a fuck about people. You know what I'm saying? If I got to fight this battle myself, I'm going to fight this battle, brother. Do you understand me?
100%.
I don't care what people say, because what they eat don't make me shit. You understand?
Totally get it.
My whole thing about this whole thing, and I've been ridiculed. I've lost people in the street. But it don't matter to me. You understand? Because I know in the long run, and 50 told me this. He said it out of his mouth. They can't stop what God got planned.
He told you directly.
Directly. He said, Gene, when he was going through this shit that he was going through, he said, Gene, they can't stop what God got planned. And that stuck with me. He a street dude.
He's a street dude, total.
You understand?
He has a reputation. Gene, what would you like to see happen to him?
I always just wanted him to apologize. I always wanted him to come out and tell the people the truth and say, yo, Gene told me not to go nowhere that night. Gene said that one of us was going to die. You understand? I chose to do it anyway.
That's all you want to hear.
Take responsibility for what you did. But all this other shit is out now. You understand? All this other shit is out now.
Right.
When I first started this whole crusade about this thing, just tell the truth, brother. You lied to Ms. Wallace saying you didn't even know me. You should have lied to the FBI and the LAPD the same way you did her. So my whole thing about it is this. Pat, we have certain journeys that we have to travel. Some with people, some without.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got God in your heart and you believe in what you do, you'll be all right.
Gene, you were in one of the most single, iconic days or events. You were there. I had a guy on a podcast once. His name was Jim Jenkins. And he was one of the 4 men who held John F. Kennedy's brain after he got assassinated.
It's crazy.
Crazy. So I brought a brain in. You know the brains that they use when they're training people. I brought it in. I said, tell me what it was like when you held it. And he's telling the story. He says, for 50 years, I've been quiet. I've not said anything. And he starts explaining who he thinks was it. To him, it was Lyndon Johnson. He says Lyndon Johnson's crew came in as quickly as possible. He was sworn in. His wife's, John F. Kennedy, Jackie's wife, is standing right there. He's now president. It was so quick. They're like, wait a minute, why is this guy celebrating becoming the president? And he was at an event there to witness what it's like to hold the brain, saying there was an incision. Somebody else made a cut here. Why would somebody else make this cut here? He's seeing that. That's going to stay with you for 50 years, right? And I had him on the, I think it was a 50-year anniversary when I had him on, when I interviewed the guy. And in the history of hip-hop, it's 2 events. And you were present at one of them. It's literally 2 events. One of them, Tyson fight, Tupac, Vegas. Second event is this. So I totally feel it. And for me, I don't have anything to want to get information from this, but I was a fan and I followed these stories as a young kid, seeing 2 of the greatest artists not be here with us. Think about it if they were around right now. Mm-hmm. What would we have with them if they were around? That's what my level of curiosity is when I speak to folks. But I want to read this to you. So here's Biggie's mom. I want to slap the daylights out of Sean Combs. I hope to God he sits down and spills his guts and apologizes to her. right? Valletta Wallace. This is a 6-month investigation Rolling Stone did on the violent abuse of Sean Combs. Biggie's mom tells Rolling Stone that she hopes the disgraced bad boy mogul apologizes to Cassie and his mother, and as she wants to slap the daylights out of him. How often have you and her spoken about Diddy?
We used to speak a lot back when I was talking with her. I held her hand and I told her the whole story about her son and everything that went down. And what you just brought me back to the part when I was holding Big, and the urine and the feces smell, and that type of shit you never get out your system, bro. And you want to think that because he was. I try to believe that I would feel that way about any man that I went that to. But because Big was so great and he was so good, you know, like to me, like, yo, Gene, you say, D-Rock, you want this box of clothes? And D-Rock say, nah, that's from Mecca, or that's from, what's it, Lugs, or that's from them. I don't want that shit. Yo, Gene, you can have it. I'll take it. You know what I mean? Give it to people, parolees, give it to people from the block. But that's what type of dude he was. And I still remember dropping him and then having to pick him up. And it does that shit to me. And I don't care. I went to therapy. I've been through shit. You'll never get over stuff like that, man. And then the fact that people don't understand. They think that you're doing somebody wrong when people could have came out with the truth. And if you come out with the truth, you understand, a lie won't live. You understand? What happens is that when somebody tell a lie, the truth has to face it. And because he's been lying all these years, he's been faced with the truth. And you got to deal with it.
Have you had a discussion where to know how his mom feels? Does his mom feel that Diddy was involved?
I know how his mom feels, and I'm not at liberty to speak on the way she feels.
Has she ever expressed it or no? Has she ever expressed what?
She knows the truth
of what happened.
She knows the truth. If you watch any and everything they ever did, she's on one side, he's on the other side.
Big.
Huh?
Who? Biggs?
No. Big's mother.
Oh.
Puff.
Right.
They never
agreed.
Together.
Got it.
You understand?
So she was never supportive of him. She never liked him. Never trusted him.
Never.
Yeah. Well.
And then after I told her what went down and what happened, she had to be quiet. Because to me, first off, the people who was around her was Puff people. Mark Pitts, Wayne Barrows, they were Puff people. Mm.
Did you ever have any interaction with Suge Knight or Jake or any of those guys, or no?
No, I seen Suge twice. You know, I was at the Super Bowl when the Patriots played the St. Louis, and he came through the door in Louisiana, and Snoop Dogg was on stage, and he started using profanity towards Suge Knight. I was there. That's the night Puff was with Mariah Carey. And one night, he came to Envy's, and that's a club in New York. It was downtown, close to Varick Street, and I'm sitting over in the corner. That's the night Zip, Big D, all of them was up in there, and Wolf and them was up in there. That's how I knew Wolf ain't killed Jake. You understand? Because I seen them at the same bar around each other. You understand? And Suge Knight came through the door, and I'm in the corner just looking, and then my girl was right there, and she stopped. She said, "Oh, Suge Knight," and gave him a hug. And then when she gave him a hug, she turned around and she looked me in the face, and I was like, it's time to go home now, right? Time to go home now, right?
My man. Well, brother, I appreciate you for coming out and sharing your story. Folks, we're going to put the links for both of his books below. Bodyguarding a Hip-Hop Star, both links. Rob, let's make sure we put that below for the audience to be able to order and read more about the details of what happened. Gene, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Well, for those people, I want y'all to understand in our community, and I'm going to say the black community, they feel like when somebody coming out and they telling their story or they telling what really happened, they snitching, they ratting, and the whole 9 yards. But I want people to understand that anytime there's lies or given a chance to live, the truth will never prevail. No matter how it comes. No matter what situation, who you work for, what you did in life, let the truth stand on its own. And these books give a lot of truth. These two books is not only about the relationship with Puff, it's about the relationship with hip-hop and some of the things that happen. And I'm telling the truth in every statement, in every word in my books.
My man, we got the link below. Folks, go place the order and support this man here. Gene, appreciate you for coming out, man.